Hello my dear health seekers, and welcome to week 6 of Meal Prep for Weight Loss show. So today we're going to be making 3 dishes from the Forks Over Knives cookbook, because I really need to make conscious effort to actually use the cookbooks I have, and I've got 2 from Forks Over Knives. And their recipes are oil-free, which is great, so I don't need to adapt them, so they're already ready for me to use. So the 3 recipes we're going to be making this week is Tuscan Bean Stew, Curried Rice Salad, and also spicy chickpeas with fennel. So let's begin. So we'll start with the curried rice salad. What we'll need is zest and juice of 2 limes. So here's zest and also the juice. One thing I wanted to mention, if you can't find unwaxed lime, I'll link to the recipe above and below, where you could basically take off the wax off the lime, so you could zest it. So I've took the wax off the lime, I've zested it, and I've squeezed the juice. Next ingredient is brown rice vinegar. Well, mine is actually a mixture of brown rice and just white rice vinegar, because I ran out of the brown rice vinegar, but recipe is actually for brown rice vinegar. So this is 1/4 cup, and I'm so surprised that there's so much acidity in this recipe, so we'll see how it turns out. However, to balance it out, there's 1/4 cup of brown rice syrup in the recipe, but I'm using maple syrup because I don't have brown rice syrup, unfortunately. So I'm just substituting with the maple syrup. Then we've got 1/2 cup of currants in the recipe, but mine are sultanas, which is very similar thing, a bit bigger. So 1/2 cup of sultanas. Then we've got about 1/2 of small red onion, very finely chopped. So add that in. And there's a lot of onion in this recipe because the next ingredient is 6 spring onions chopped fine as well. So this is 6 spring onions. So there's masses of acidity and of onion. So it'll be interesting for me to try this salad. Then there's some jalapeno. The recipe says to use a raw, green jalapeno, but I didn't find any in my local shop, so I've just added a pickled, about a 1 pickled jalapeno. We're not fans of too much spice, so we'll see how we get on with that. So 1 jalapeno here. Then it's 1/4 cup of chopped coriander or cilantro in the recipe, but I couldn't find any in my local again. But plus, I'm not too much of a fan of cilantro or coriander still, so I prefer parsley. So this is flat leaf parsley instead. So I've just substituted to parsley, but if you love coriander, by all means add 1/4 cup of chopped coriander. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of curry powder. So obviously go, if you like it spicy, go with the spicy curry powder. Ours is just medium, and it says 1 tablespoon. We are very sensitive to spices, so I'm just going to do a little bit less than 1 tablespoon, because we already have, like I say, jalapeno, which will make it quite strong. and then some pepper and salt to taste. So I'm gonna just put a little bit in. We're not massive fans of pepper either, so I'm not putting too much in. And then salt, maybe I'll do quarter of a teaspoon to half a teaspoon or so. And then we need to mix this mixture up first, so that everything is nicely mixed in. And in the meantime, while you're preparing this, you need to cook brown basmati rice, and you'll need 2 cups of brown basmati rice here. So there you go. So this is mixed up, and I'm gonna now add our 2 cups of warm brown basmati rice. I'm gonna just mix it through. And this then needs to be served over a bed of greens. So you could use either spinach or Chinese leaf, I would say, or even kale if you like that. And that is it. This is a complete dish. So all that's left to do now is to taste test it. So this is curried rice salad. So all that's left now is to taste test this. Oh, it smells so delicious. So it smells like a lovely curry. So let's give this a go. Oh my goodness. Wow. There's so much flavor. I can feel the heat coming through as well, but there's so much zinginess in this, and also I can taste obviously the maple syrup giving the sweetness, as well as raisins that give sweetness too. I think what I probably wouldn't put in next time is the jalapeno, because I can feel it quite hot, and we're really we can't deal with too much heat. So I think next time if I make it, which I think I will, because this is delicious, I do approve, we're probably gonna end up eating this tonight or tomorrow for lunch. Yum. So we had this. So this is a success. Forks over knives, curried rice salads. I would definitely recommend this. So the pan is heating up. Well, let's do a water droplet test. Yes, this is ready. As you can see, the water just keeps on going round and it doesn't evaporate. It means it's a non-stick. So this is stainless steel pan. This is an amazing pan. It's Zepta. I'll link for you in the description below where you can buy a Zepter pot yourself. But let's start. So this is 3 onions. The original recipe actually said leeks, 3 leeks, but I do not have leeks, and I do have quite a few onions to use up, so I'm using diced onion. So 3 medium-sized onions, then 2 carrots diced, and 2 sticks of celery diced as well. So we want to fry this for about 10 minutes, and if it starts sticking, then we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of water at a time and keep on frying. So this has been sauteing for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to now add 6 cloves of garlic crushed to fry just for a minute, just until it becomes nice and fragrant. You don't want to overcook the garlic, you don't want it to burn, you just want to cook it just slightly. It gives depth of flavor to soups and stews. So yeah, I can smell it. It's become aromatic. So then I'm gonna replace this pot with a bit of a deeper pot, and I'm gonna just put all of that into that pot. So I forgot to film, guys, for you. So what I done, I added 6 cups of stock in here. So that's 1.5 liters of vegetable stock. Then I've added 1 large diced potato, as you can see here, and also 2 cups of shredded cabbage, and 3 cups, the recipe calls for 3 cups of cannellini beans, but I don't have cannellini beans, so I've added haricot beans. These are cooked already, so you probably got to know me by now that I'm a queen of substitution. If I don't have something, I don't give up. I just try and replace it with the closest alternative and keep on going. So we've added all the ingredients now. I've put it on high to get this up to boil quickly, and then I'm going to reduce it to medium, and I'm going to simmer it for about 30 minutes or maybe a bit less, until the bits of potato cook through. So it's been 20 minutes. I've just switched the soup off, and as you can see, the beans kind of deteriorated a little bit. The potato is definitely cooked. So much steam, guys. Potato is definitely cooked, and the soup has thickened quite nicely, and obviously some of the water has evaporated away. So the last little step is 1/2 cup of fresh basil chopped up. So I'm gonna just mix that in, and all that's left to do now is to taste test it. And now on to the best part, taste testing. It smells delicious. I put a bit of pepper on there, so let's give it a go. It's pretty hot. Yummy. You could also add a little bit of salt if it's still missing. I think I might put a couple of dashes of salt on my plate, but the flavors, wow, it's really good. And it'll obviously taste slightly different if you use leeks. I think probably a leek version would be more traditional Tuscan, of course. So if you do have leeks, try with leeks and let me know. Even you could compare one with onion and one with leek, and which one you prefer. So this is a success, and although it says stew, it's kind of really more of a soup, because like I say, in Forks Over Knives book as well, they refer, the name is Tuscan Bean Stew. However, when they refer to this dish in the recipe itself, they keep on saying soup. So it's kind of, yeah, more soupy. Yummy. So my pan is heating up. I'm gonna do a little water droplet test. As you can see, this is perfect, because the water is just rolling around. It means it's proper non-stick. So we're gonna need, so this is the ingredients for the spicy chickpeas and fennel recipe. So we've got 1 chopped onion, so 1 large onion chopped, and then I've got 1 bulb of fennel, thinly sliced as well. So you're gonna need either a metal, like stainless steel pan like this, and heat it up until it's non-stick, like I've just showed you with the water test. Or you could also use a non-stick large pan for this as well. So basically we need to saute this for about 10 minutes, and If it starts sticking to the bottom, we just add a couple of tablespoons of water and continue frying. As you can see, it's not sticking because it's hot enough, but you don't want it burning either. So actually it's on medium. Should be okay. You want it frying but not properly burning. So it's been about 7 minutes, and the recipe says that to fry this for either 10 minutes or until the vegetables are soft. So my vegetables seem to be soft, so I'm going to be proceeding to the next step. So next I'm going to add the garlic. So this is 4 cloves of garlic, minced or crushed. Then we also have half a tablespoon of dried oregano. It said 1 tablespoon of minced oregano, so oops, I presume they meant fresh, so in it goes. So because the dried herbs tend to be a little bit more strong and pungent, I've only added half a tablespoon here. And then we've got 1.5 teaspoons of ground fennel seed, so that's going in. And then it says 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. However, I'm guessing they meant chili, but I've got a chipotle chili powder, so I'm gonna put just a half a teaspoon because we really can't do much spice, and this is quite a mild chili. So I've added that, and we're gonna just mix all of that and cook for another 2 minutes or so. Wow, the smells in the pan are delicious. Obviously I'm getting a bit of a smoky smell from that chipotle powder, and I'm gonna just deglaze it a little bit, couple of tablespoons of water to just pick up those spices from the bottom of the pan, and continue cooking. So it's been about 2 extra minutes. I'm gonna just put a little bit of water to deglaze that bit. And now we are ready for the next step, which is 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. So these are like 400-gram tomato tins in their own juice. I'm just gonna do a little quick rinse to just rinse it out. And then the second tin. Is it tin or a can? Which one is English and which one is American? Could you message in the comments below, guys, which one is American and which one is British? I'm not too sure. And then 4 cups of cooked chickpeas. There's quite a bit of chickpeas here, so just give it a good mix. There's a couple of dodgy ones. Thought I already picked through them, but so yeah, so give it a good mix. And now I increase the heat, and we're gonna get this to boiling. So I got the mixture to boiling now, and I'm gonna reduce the heat, cover it, and then we're gonna simmer it for 20 minutes. So it's been 20 minutes since I've been simmering this. In fact, for the last 10-15 minutes I switched it off completely because Zepter pot is so amazing because it's so well insulated that it keeps the heat inside. Once it reaches the red little kind of markings here on the green, then you can switch it off and then it continues to cook. There it is. This looks and smells yum. So all that's left to do now is to taste test it. So here I've got spicy chickpeas and fennel, and I'll put a little bit of green flat parsley, because that's what they recommend to garnish with. And actually I'll grab some salt. I added a little bit of salt because I didn't put any salt in the whole dish actually. So let me taste test it. That is nice. You can definitely taste the fennel and the fennel seeds as well. And it definitely needs some salt, or maybe I would even put a little bit of soy sauce. I think would work here too. So it is yum. Let me know what you thought of it if you tried it. And apparently it's lovely served either over rice or over polenta as well with a salad. So maybe try that. So this is the whole meal prep ready here. So we've got the spicy chickpeas and fennel. It's still warm. I've just made this now. Then I've got what's remaining of the Tuscan Bean Stew, because we had it for lunch already. Then I've got my curried rice salad. It ended up a little bit too spicy for my liking, and probably Mark's liking, so I've added some leftover haricot beans I had mixed in with it all, and I think it just helps to dull down the heat, but also the flavors were actually a little bit too overpowering for me. It was just a bit too much of sourness and too much of sweetness. It was just quite intense flavors. So adding those beans in there actually I think made it really nice. Then I've got some roasted, so this is some extra, so this is some roasted swede that we had. So I had it for one from last week and one from this week, so I slow roasted them. So I basically peeled them and put them, it was already halved, and I put them in the roasting tin with the lid on 170 for about an hour. Actually no, probably an hour and maybe 20 minutes. So, but just obviously check, see how they're doing. So that's nice and roasted, so we could use it chopped up into any of these dishes as well. Then I've got some leftover chickpeas that we'll use. This was leftover barley from another recipe that I made. And then I also slow roasted some potatoes and carrots, and these also we can use, to have this chickpea with, say roast potatoes. We just need to obviously heat them up, or we can just have them chopped up into soups, or just kind of make up other dishes with it. But it's always good to have some roast vegetables. And then the last bit that I made, because I made some soy milk, I had some okara left over. So this is blueberry muffins with okara. I'm still trying to perfect the recipe where, because they were nicely risen, but then they kind of dropped down because it's quite heavy, I think, the dough. So I'm still trying to perfect this recipe where they're nice and puffed up. But I'll put the recipe that I've got so far, so you can try it if you want as well, because the taste is nice. It's just it's not as kind of risen and puffed up as as you would expect from a muffin. So this is the lot. Let me know which one was your favorite recipe and which one you're gonna give a try. Week 6 meal prep for weight loss done and dusted. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found interesting. I hope you found at least one new recipe that you can try. Let me know which of the 3 new forks over knives recipes that I've made this time that you like the most. I think probably my favorite would be between the two would be either Tuscan Bean Stew or probably more likely the Curried Bean Salad. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit too intense in flavour, but after I added some extra haricot beans, then I think it was really lovely. And it was too spicy for us too, so I think next time if we make it, we'll either put just a little bit of spice or maybe just omit the spice altogether. So let me know which one was your favorite, and also what other recipes you would like to see either on the meal prep or on just in my other videos. So if you're new here, welcome, and subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, because your engagement and your likes and comments really help to support my work here on this channel. And remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in the body. Until next time.